her as an actress. It starts with a very normal childhood. I've had a very normal childhood wherein you're not sure about what to do. There were my friends who wanted to be a doctor, who wanted to be an engineer, but I was the one who wanted to be an astronaut. And I was not knowing what it takes to be an astronaut. What educational qualifications do you require to be an astronaut? But I just wanted to be because I was very fascinated by, going to the space and invading where the stars are and everything. But later on, I realized, when I think about it right now, that the dream of being an astronaut was like a big dream. And I did not fear to dream big. And I always wanted to be something which would just push my boundaries. And I think that was the stepping stone to what I am right now. Probably I couldn't be an astronaut, but I could be something which is not so out of the world, but something that was not even normal. So that was the stepping stone of my career, of just dreaming big, dreaming of something what probably people would think, are you mad? Or rather would make fun of, but I wanted to dream very big. And that's how I started my journey from my childhood to when I went to the college. It was again a very normal college girl who just attended lectures and stuff. But I was fascinated with these air hostesses. I was very fascinated with them, with the way they looked, with the poise, with the amount of grace that they had. It actually attracted me to the aviation industry. I did a course in aviation and hospitality, and that is how I got into the aviation industry, which was again not a plan. It was not at all a plan. It was just, I wanted to be that. And I started giving interviews. I got rejected in 2 interviews, and then I got through a very big airline. That's Kingfisher Airlines. And I remember it was the 4th round, which is always the last round that is always taken by Mr. Vijay Mallya. And I was not knowing much about Mr. Vijay Mallya at that time. It's because Google and being smart, being tech savvy is what it is right now. But at that time, it was not that big. So I had basic information about him. I was not knowing if he was such a magnificent personality, but I knew he was a remarkable personality in that industry though. So I went for this interview wherein there were about 150 people who got selected from all the 4 rounds and came into the last round. And we went to his house in Nepensi Road. We entered at morning 10 o'clock. And by 2 o'clock in the night, he was just busy with his meetings and stuff, so we had to wait. And at 2 o'clock was when my interview was taken. And I entered this room, and there was this huge conference room, and there was Mr. Vijay Mallya sitting across the table. And I know we all have our own opinions about Kingfisher, but trust me, that man I have immense respect for that man, because he was the one who built up my base of confidence, of thinking beyond what I could do. I remember one question that he asked me. He asked me, Abhidnya, why should I hire you? I was 17 at that time, underage. This was like very new for me. I was not prepared for the interview. When the other girls were like rehearsing and, I'll speak this if this is asked, I'll speak that if that is asked. I was just like, let's go and give an interview. And I answered that, sir, I do not know if I would make any remarkable financial improvements in your company, but I am very sure that each guest you get on my flight, I would give my 100%, and because of that, he would want to come back to Kingfisher again. And he was like, okay, you may go. And I went, and I got a call after 15 days that
you have been selected. Out of 150 girls, there were 10 girls who got selected. And it was very exciting. It was an achievement, but I was not realizing it because I did not think about it that seriously. Later, first month of my Kingfisher, I used to cry on flight. That's because I thought, what is being an air hostess? It's just like walking through the aisle, putting on the makeup, looking good and all of that. But it is a lot of hard work. It was a lot of responsibility. And it was hard for me to cope up to all of that. But that is the fun. That's when I realized that, when you do not know about any profession as such, or you do not have the full information, it's about taking a blind leap into it. And what happens with that blind leap? You have no inhibitions. You are all ready to learn new things. You are not judgmental if those things are good or bad. You're just accepting everything that is coming your way. And that is what taught me that, you don't have to be prepared every time. You don't have to be perfect every time. You don't have to know about everything and just portray that, I know everything about this. No. There is fun in not knowing things and just finding them out. It's like, I went to a particular place to just hang out and eat, and I find that there was one dish that was interesting because I was totally blank while I was going. And then I tell about it to different people that, that dish was very nice. It's about experiencing. It's about, you going out there without any inhibitions and just discovering the whole thing altogether. And what that leads to? That leads to immense amount of happiness. Because when we expect, what do we expect? A success. When we don't expect, either we're prepared for the success or we're also prepared for the failure. If we are successful, then we are like, wow, we're successful, you've made it. But if at all you fail, you're like, okay, what's next? That's because you don't expect anything out of it. And while that journey of Kingfisher, while I was not even expecting to be an actor, which I wanted to be. And coincidentally, my mother enrolled me into a very big pageant of Maharashtra Times, that's Shravan Queen. And I was not knowing about it. Again, I just went. I did the beauty contest. I got through the last round, but in the last round, I did not win because my Marathi was not good. Since I was from convent, my Marathi was not that good. Okay, I accepted that too. I moved ahead and I used to get these calls for, character artists, like if a hero is standing in the frame, I'm just like behind as a friend or as whatever. Or just passing, we call junior artist, if you all know about the concept. I was a junior artist, but I enjoyed that. You know why? Because I did not look at it as, just passing and not doing anything. I had got to see these big people so closely and to, understand how acting is, how, they face the camera or how they look good on camera. It was a big learning experience. So there's nothing that's small or there's nothing that's big. Work is work. Let it be of any kind. And I think that again taught me to be humble enough to accept whatever was going to come in my journey ahead. I moved ahead. For 2 years I was doing that, and I was not getting anything constructive in the industry. So I thought of leaving it, and I gave a few interviews, and then later on I got a call from a very big production house in Marathi, which is Rakesh Sarang's. He's a very big producer, and he called me for a meeting. I was like, okay. I have given a lot of meetings. मी खूप meeting दिल्यात आतापर्यंत. I've been, I've met so many people. Nothing has happened. So it's okay. Let me just go and, give a meeting and come. I went to the meeting. Everything went well. I came back home. He said, okay, you are going to be on the shoot from tomorrow. I was like, okay, I'll be shooting from tomorrow. I did not take that seriously too. I got a call time on my phone. I was like, okay, I'm shooting. I went on set. Okay, I'm on set. The camera rolled. I was like, okay, the camera is rolling. And my episode got telecasted and I was like, this is serious. This is serious business now. Because what I was, I was in this loop of not expecting, but this big opportunity has come up. And facing these veteran actors in the Marathi industry like Sunil Barve, Kishori Ambiye, Sunil Taude, it was a very big thing, but I couldn't live up to the expectation because I was not a born actor. And I had one choice at that time when I faced huge rejection by my directors, by my fraternity. I had one choice, either to quit or to move on. Quitting is easy, right? Quitting is very easy. But to move on, to push your boundary is what I chose. I moved ahead. I was learning in all of this process. I moved ahead. I did Lagori. I did Devyani, all of these serials. And then, out of nowhere, I get this call from a producer. And he says, just send in your audition to this script. I was like, okay. Again, same thing. Okay, I'll send it. I was not well at that time. I couldn't even stand. I was down with fever, and probably the worst audition of my life was Khulta Kali Khulena. Trust me on that. The worst audition because I was not well. I was not prepared. And the second day I was on floor. The second day I started shooting as this immensely unbelievable character called Monika, which was a bad girl. She was negative. She was pregnant. Oh my God, too much for me to handle at that time. But now y'all, why did y'all like, now whoever don't know it, you could Google it, but whoever knows, why did y'all like Monika? She was a negative character. Why did y'all like her? She was bad. That's because you all saw this very small thing that was genuine about her. Where did that come from? That came from me. Because when I thought of that character of Monika, I was like, she's unbelievable. This person cannot be existing. But if at all I was pregnant, if at all I had to give birth to a baby who was without my own wish, I would be frustrated. And that is what I related to, and that is what I put in each and every scene that I did. And that is the reason you all liked her. She was bad, but still you all liked her. And that's when I got to know that, whatever profession you all are in, every profession has rules, every profession has a way of working, but there's one thing that you could put in from yourself that could give you happiness when you are working in that space. Do we do that? We don't. What do? We could have, this is my job, this is what I have to do, it's very hectic. No. There is a purpose for everybody to be in the position that you all are in, like I am. I am here to entertain you all, just to, get that half an hour out of everybody's life so that you all could see me and you all could get entertained with my bad nature, my good nature or whatever. That's my purpose. Find yours. You need to find your purpose. Every profession, you follow regulations, you follow rules, but you put in yourself, one part of yourself, and you watch your life flourishing beautifully like my life did. That's because everything that I do, or whatever journey you all saw, there was a part of me in it. And I made that effort. It's not easy, but you have to make that effort. There is, recently I did this award function, very big award function, which I hosted. It was bad. I did not do it well. People were laughing. People made fun out of me. People were, bad. But again, it takes huge heart to show your imperfections to the world. It actually takes huge heart, and I have it. If I go wrong somewhere, I'm not at all, I don't feel bad to show it to the world. Nobody is perfect. You'll need to get that. Not everybody is perfect, whether it be in a relationship, whether it be professionally, whether it be anywhere. Embrace your imperfections. And y'all would see your life doing wonders if you'll embrace your imperfections. Ladies and gentlemen, these 18 minutes might just be 18 minutes for all of y'all. But for me, it is the dream that I saw from the childhood, the journey that I took y'all through. Because from these 18 minutes, out of all the wonderful people present here, there would be at least one person who would take one thought from me, who would implement it once when they need the most, and that is when my speech is successful. And probably that is the reason I'm here for. To, get that little thought in your mind, not as Monika or any other character, but as Abhidnya. And thank you very much for listening to my journey. And thank you. This was Abhidnya for y'all, signing off, and hope y'all don't hate me anymore. Thank you.